YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video in 4K, like always, man. In today's video, I'm gonna be showing y'all how to make smooth beats from scratch for artists like Lil Tyler and V's. Get right into it, man. Let's get it. All right, so let's get right into it, man. I got the project pulled up right in front of me, right here. I actually made this beat yesterday, and I figured it was a perfect beat for this type of video, man. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna start out by deconstructing the melody, and after that, I'm gonna get into the drums and the arrangement. So let's start out with the melody, man. So for these type of beats, man, I always like to start out with a good foundation, so a piano or a Rhodes. Because when you start out with a good melody like that, it's very easy to add things on top of. So for example, other pianos or vocal chops. For this beat right here, I started out with an electric piano from Keyscape. I used the Rhodes LA Custom Warm preset, this one right here. But before I get into that, man, I'm gonna preview the beat real quick. That's what it sounds like. So like I said, start out with this Rhodes from Keyscape. And I'm gonna deconstruct the chords real quick. So I'm working in F minor, I believe. That's what the main melody sounds like by itself. So right now I'm gonna try my best to deconstruct how I laid this down right here. So I believe for the MIDI I started out on the root notes. So I started out on F. The scale we're working in, I just moved one note down in the scale. So that's D sharp right here. And that's it for the first two bars. Then for the second two bars, I kind of skipped a little bit right here. The little pause you hear builds a lot of tension. So I went down to C, up to C sharp. So right here I skipped the note, went from D sharp right down to C. Later on I put C sharp right here, just next to the C in the scale, so it creates a lot of tension. And after that I copied it straight over to the next four bars, so it's only 4 root notes. So for the first chord, I start out with the triad, so F, G sharp, and C. Took the middle note out, and after that I kind of built some notes on top of the chord. So these 4 notes, for example, right here you got the F, which is the root note right here. Next you got the G sharp, which is the middle note of the triad right here. Just pitch it up and kind of delayed it a little bit. After that we get an A sharp, and the reason why I added this A sharp is to kind of transition nicely into the C right here, which is the top note of the triad. So that's why I added the A sharp. I took that out. Like it's a big step from the G sharp to C, so that's why I added the A sharp in between. Just sounds smooth. There's nothing too crazy. I kind of just strummed the chord a little bit. So there's G, A sharp, and C. And after that, I played around with these notes right here. So I kind of delayed these a little bit. Just sounds way better compared to this. Sounds more natural. Feel me? So that's pretty much it for the first chord. And after that it goes directly down to the D sharp right here after the first bar. So once again I start out with the triad, so D sharp, G, and A sharp. Kind of did the same as I did right here. Took the middle note out. I pitched this D sharp up an octave. After that I played around with the notes, just followed the scale till something sounded good. And this chord right here really complements the first chord. Because the second chord by itself wouldn't really make sense. They go really well together. Like I said, kind of did the same thing as I did right here. Kind of strummed the notes a little bit. So D sharp goes up to F, A sharp, and C. For example, this A sharp right here, the top note of the triad, just pitched it up an octave. Like I said, just played around with the notes. Kind of skipped some notes right here. And after that, of course, strummed it a little bit. Instead of it sounding like this, very static, very robotic. Once again, strummed it. Kind of humanized it a little bit, if that makes sense. After that, I experimented with this pause in between. I don't see a lot of people doing this, so that's why I decided to do it. It sounded good to me. It sounds very unique. So after the break, it goes down to C and up to C sharp. And I made sure to put the velocities of this chord very low, so it starts soft after the pause that we got right here. Once again, start out with the triad chord, so we got a C right here next to D sharp and a G. I took the middle note out, but as you can see later on I added it right here, same as I did with these two chords. Once again, you got a C right here, so all these chords are pretty much built the same way. As you can see, the F, the D sharp, right here the C, and then this chord, the C sharp, just pitch it up an octave. And once again, got this D sharp right here, like I said, the middle note, which I strummed a little bit. And after that I added this the G, this G sharp, and this G. And since they're next to each other in the scale, they create a lot of tension. And once again, these two chords complement each other perfectly. So it goes straight up to the C sharp right here. Once again, like I said, built the exact same way. C sharp, basic triad chord F, and of course I strummed it a little bit, kind of delayed it a little bit. And with these notes right here, I kind of played around with some of the notes that I already used before until something sounded right and complemented this other chord perfectly. Like they flow into each other like perfectly. And after that, as you can see, I didn't do too much to it. Just copied it straight over and added some other notes on top of that just to kind of make it stand out and not have it to be like too repetitive, you feel me? So I added some more top notes to these chords. For example, this D sharp and this F. Just adds a little something to it, you feel me? Like a little more than these first chords that we got right here. Same right here. So it's really only like 5 notes, which I added to the second part of the melody, but it really makes it stand out, make it sound more unique compared to the first 4 bars. And how I adjust these velocities is I really think of how a human piano player would play it. You feel me? So for example, this note right here, it's very loud compared to the other notes that we got right there. It really makes a big difference. And that's pretty much it for the Rhodes. This is the most complicated part of this entire sample. Like I said, we start out with the good foundation. It's easy to add things onto it. You feel me? So for the effects that I put on the Rhodes, I only put 4 effects on that. Start out with EQ, lowering some of the low mids since it gets very muddy on the low end. So I decided to lower some of those. After that, lowered some of the mids to really make the lows and the highs stand out. And of course, boosted some of the highs to really bring out that presence in the high notes. Then I added a second EQ to it and just cut the harsh frequencies out with this one. So it's nothing too crazy. And after that, since we added these notes to it, which are very loud, I kind of like to add some compression to my pianos and electric pianos to kind of even out the signal a little bit, kind of squash it down. Because before you add some compression, it's very quiet and very loud parts to it. And after the compression, it kind of evens it out a little bit. So it sounds way better. Way more controlled, if that makes sense. I used the LA2 wave from Universal Audio for that. Play around with the peak reduction a little bit. It's only like 2 dB of compression, so it's not a lot. And after that, of course, there's some room to it. Added this Valhalla Finish verb with these settings right here. So then the last thing I did to this melody, basically a free way of getting another melody without doing too much, is I copied it over, made it unique like that. After I did that, I selected all these top notes, just basically pitched them up an octave. Just adds another emotion to the melody. And the transition's nice, so you can basically alternate between the two throughout the arrangement of the beat. So the melody we had. Pitch up an octave. It's perfect to, like I said, alternate between the two when you're arranging the beat. So after that, I wanted to add a vocal chop to it. So open up Arcade with this bank right here. I don't really fuck with the hook bank, I ain't gonna lie, because 9 times out of 10 it sounds corny, but we found a good one. That's what it sounds like. And I figured it sounded good with the Rhodes. And that's pretty much it. So I decided to render that vocal chop out. And of course, I added some effects to that. So I'm gonna turn off the effects. We got a whole list right here. So this is what it sounded like before. And I put the mode to Stretch Pro. I pitched it up 400 cents. Just completely changed the whole mood. Like I said, of course, added some effects to that. So I'm gonna go over them one by one. Start out with the EQ. Brought out some of the presence right here, some of the highs, and lowered some of the mids, the harsh frequencies right here. After that, got a second EQ, this shelf right here. Really makes a big difference with the Rhodes. Kind of tucks it in the back a little bit more, since it was like very noticeable without the EQ. Kind of pushed it to the background a little bit. After that, kind of smoothened it out with another compressor, same compressor we used before. After that, added the shaper box to it with this little filter and this kind of sidechain the volume a little bit. That's what that sounds like. After that, some distortion to it. Some delay. These settings right here. Ping pong delay. Really noticeable. Another EQ after all the effects just to kind of clean it up a little bit. Once again, lowered some of the mids and boosted some of the high mids. Then ended out with another reverb just to add some room to it. So without the effects, sounded like this. With the effects. That's a lot better. And that's pretty much it for the vocal. So it's this vocal chop right here. Just copied it over to the next 4 bars. It just repeats once. And it complements the Rhodes perfectly, man. Alright, so after that, I added this grand piano to it. Also from Keyscape. It's the LA Custom C7 Indie. This one right here. And almost every time I use a Rhodes in one of my samples, I layer a grand piano on top of it. Or the other way around. Like, they go so well together. I'm gonna play it first and then deconstruct it. Rhodes by itself. Like, they go so well together, you feel me? Like I said, when you start out with a good foundation, you don't got to do too much after that. I copied this Rhodes melody over, copy on top of the piano, pitch it up 2 octaves. So I basically simplified the melody a little bit and pitch it up 2 octaves to really fill out the frequency spectrum. Since the Rhodes got a lot going on in the mids, so if we would have had the piano notes play at the same octave, sounds good as well, but it gets very muddy. This kind of spreads it out a little bit. You got the high notes of the piano in the higher octaves, higher frequencies at the Rhodes in the mids, you feel me? And of course the vocal chop complements those 2 pianos perfectly. Of course you can hear some effects on that, so let's get into that. That's what it sounded like before. A lot more emotion to it, you feel me? Once again, start out with the EQ just to kind of clean everything up before adding other effects to it. Put a high pass on it, just kind of get rid of the low frequencies, boost some of the low mids, took some of the mids out, and then I brought some of the presence out with the highs right here. After that, once again, add some compression to it, and all these compressors kind of add on to each other, you feel me? Like makes the whole melody just sound a lot more controlled. After that, fruity delay. Very short delay. It's noticeable though. Of course, you can't add a delay without adding a reverb on top of that. These settings right here. That's it for the grand piano. So after that, I believe I only added 2 more melodies to it. This electric guitar right here and this bass guitar. So I'm gonna deconstruct the electric guitar first. This is probably my favorite part of this entire sample, especially this effects chain. This one right here. So this is what it sounds like with the Rhodes and the guitar. This shit hard as fuck, bro. Like I said, my favorite part of this entire sample. I actually played this guitar melody myself. Bro, I got a $50 electric guitar, bro. Like, that shit don't sound good out of the box, but if you're like experienced with some like processing and some effects and shit, you could really make it work, bro. So how I laid this down is I was just kind of playing around with some intervals right here. Ended up with that, this little reverse part right here. So if I reverse the whole sample, basically 2 notes at once, but I decided to reverse it, so it's only like two parts. And for the effects on the guitar, without the effects, it sounds like this. So that's not too crazy. It sounds clean though, like don't get me wrong, but after the effects, sounds way better. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you're experienced with some plugins and shit, like some effect plugins, bro, you can really make this shit work. So for the effects that I used, once again, start out with the EQ, just kind of clean it up, cut some of the lows out, lowered some of the low mids, and brought out some of the high mids, really bring the presence out. Bro, and this is the sauce, bro. It's free game. GTR Stomp 6. I ain't gonna lie, bro, I was just fucking around, bro. Like, I never used this plugin before. It's from Waves. And with this shit, you got all sorts of effects. You got like choruses, delays, and shit. So it started out with this wah right here. Let me turn the ones off. Feel me? Play around with the knobs a little bit. After that, bass pitcher, I don't know what the fuck it does. You feel me? It sounds way better. Doubler, once again, I don't know what it does. I think it kind of widens it a little bit. Some distortion. Bro, this shit magic, bro. After that, once again, EQ'd it a little bit. Got some of the low mids out and pushed some of the highs. After the EQ, added some compression to it. I used this Renaissance AXX stereo. I believe it's a guitar compressor from Waves. Once again, I put a lot of compression on this, but now lastly, of course, put some reverb on it just to blend in with the other melodies. Sounds a lot better. Add some room to it. And then pan it to the right. So we got the vocals pan to the left and the guitar pan to the right. Really enhances the stereo image, you feel me? So if we play the vocal chops and the guitar at the same time. Like the vocals start out on the left, then you get the guitar on the right. Focus on the left, guitar on the right. Just like complements each other perfectly. Alright, so the last melody, of course, I was still missing some low end in the sample, so I decided to add a bass guitar to it. I could have went for a sub bass, but I figured since I used a real life guitar for this, bass guitar would sound a lot better. So without any effects or processing, this is what it sounds like. I used Zenology for that. This preset right here. So the notes by itself sound like this. And it sounded good by itself, but I decided to add some effects to it to make it sound a lot better. So I rendered it out. Really big difference. Sounds a lot more realistic, like a real life bass guitar. Start out with the shelf right here, cut some of the really lows out, since you don't need those at all. You don't really hear them at all. So that's why I cut them out. Cut some of the highs out since it's a bass guitar. Another EQ, just kind of enhance some of the frequencies a little bit. Low mids, some of the mids and some of the presence right here. Kind of enhance it a little bit. Next, added 2 compressors to it to kind of even it out a little bit. Once again, kind of smoothing it out. Use this CLA 76 next to same LA2A. These things right here. And after that, I got this weird ass plugin. I don't even know what it is. It's from Waves. I was just browsing through all the guitar plugins that Waves had, and I finally stumbled across this one. It really makes a big difference. This shit magic, bro. Like, I just played around with the knobs a little bit. These knobs are here, the bass, the mids, kind of a low EQ right here. So yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything when it comes to the sample. So let's get into the drums, man. And for the drums, man, like always, every single sample, every single drum sample which I use in this beat and all of my beats and all of my videos came from my drum kits. I recently dropped Heaven Set drum kit right here. Dropped it like a month ago. And my rookie season drum kit, and all the feedback that I've gotten from these 2 kits, man, has been amazing. So for all the people that already bought the kit, already using it, I really want to thank you for all the support, man. Really appreciate it. For the people who haven't had the chance to get the kit yet, make sure to go check it out. I have them linked down, the first link down in the description. So if you're fucking with the sounds that you hear in this beat and all of my tutorials, man, make sure to go check that out. So yeah, let's get into the drums, man. So 9 times out of 10 when I'm laying down drums, we'll start out with the hi-hat and the snare or a clap, just to really get it bouncing going, you feel me? So start out with a really basic 2-step hi-hat pattern and a really basic snare pattern. So this is what it sounds like. Really basic. 2-step hi-hat and a basic snare pattern. Since the melody was very complicated already, I didn't want to go too crazy on the drums. I really want to find a balance between that. So if your melody is very simple, you can go crazy on the drums. But if your melody is crazy already, you don't want to overcomplicate the drums, of course. So yeah, the sounds that I use for that, use this snare from my rookie season drum kit. I use this hi-hat from my Heaven Set drum kit. After that, since it was very simple, I kind of wanted to spice it up a little bit. So I went to my Heaven Set drum kit, got the filter clap right here, and I layered it on top of every second snare. So that sounds like this. Really makes it stand out, bro. Like I don't see nobody doing this shit. So here y'all go, man. So after the hi-hat, the clap, and the snare, I went straight into the 808 and the kick pattern. So I'm gonna play the 808 and the kick pattern first together with the other drums, and after that I'm gonna deconstruct the 808 and the kick. So I laid that down as I went to the Rhodes. The melody we started out with, copied over the root notes just to make sure you're staying in the scale. As you can see, they match up perfectly. Didn't do too much to them. Cut this note in half. Next, got the D sharp. Did nothing to it. C, did nothing to it. C sharp, I sliced it up right here. After that, I copied it over. But I did decide to make some changes in this part, just to kind of make it sound more unique, kind of make it stand out compared to the first 4 bars. So I made this cut right here in the D sharp. Next, I put this double note right there, which I like to do. Right here. Just kind of spiced it up a little bit. After that, of course, I laid a kick on top of the 808. So I copied this over to the kick pattern. As you can see, the kicks match up perfectly with the 808. I did decide to pitch the kick down 1 note, just to kind of make it punch a little bit harder. Just layered it on top of the 808. For the 808 and the kick, went to my rookie season drum kit. This 808 right here. Used a rack kick. And that's pretty much it, man. So after that, we got 3 more sounds. The thing I like to do to make my 808s hit a little bit harder is to add some open hats on top of the 808s. So we got 2 hits right here on the first bar. Copied it straight over to the 5th bar. Yeah, that's what that sounds like, man. 2 hits. After the open hat, decided to add a counter snare to it. Kind of complement the other drums a little bit, filling some empty gaps, just enhance the bounce a little bit. That's what that sounds like. Got 2 counter snares right here on the 2nd bar, 1 on the 4th bar. Copied it straight over to the next 4 bars, so it's nothing crazy. Use the snare right here from my Heaven Set drum kit. Next, I added this perk to it. That sounds like. The last thing that I added is this crash from my Heavisand Drumkit. Right here. Every 8th bar. But at the second part of the hook, decided to bring it in every 4th bar. Right here. Just a lot of accent. Some of you can. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the drums, man. So if you fuck with the sounds, make sure to go check out my drum kits, man. I'll link down the first link down in the description. So let's get into the arrangement of the beat. When it comes to the arrangement of this beat, it's very basic. 8-bar intro, 16-bar hook, 16-bar verse, 8-bar bridge, and just copy that over. So for the intro, I decided to start out with the Rhodes, the lower octaves, right there. So that's the vocal. I didn't want to introduce too much in the intro, you feel me? Like, have some tension build up and kind of surprise the listener a little bit. For example, with this higher pitched Rhodes. I only added that the second part of the verse, so it only comes in twice in the entire beat. And that really makes it like a unique part of the beat, you feel me? Instead of alternating it every 8 bars, kind of makes it stand out a little bit. So like I said, for the intro, got the Rhodes and the lower octaves, as well as the vocals. Decided to bring in the bass in the second part, or the second 4 bars. Because I think it kind of sounds weird if you just start out the beat with the bass. This kind of sounds weird, you feel me? Like, I like to have it like build up a little bit. Next, for the next 16 bars, got a hook. Got the Rhodes playing throughout the whole hook. First 8 bars, got the guitar. Right there. So also drums, of course. Starts out very slow, you feel me? After that, transition to the second part of the hook, the grand piano. So as the vocals, took out the guitar, otherwise we'll get too busy, you feel me? What that sounds like. That's a hard ass transition, bro. Feel me? Got all the drums playing. A little cut right here in the hi-hats. So I brought in the open hat and the counter snare. The second 8 bars of the hook. After the hook, we got the verse. Wanted to keep this very open for the artist. So it starts out without the kick, without the hi-hat. Brought those in. Second 4 bars of the first 8 bars of the verse. Guitar on the Rhodes. Kick in the hi-hat. And I cut this vocal chop up right here. I don't even know how I came up with this, but it just sounded good. Then second 8 bars of the verse, got the Rhodes in a higher octave without any other melodies to really make the Rhodes stand out, you feel me? Really open for an artist. Transition to the bridge. Then it just repeats itself. Alright, and that's pretty much it, man. That's how I make smooth beats from scratch for artists like V's and Tyler, man. Like always, man, I want to thank y'all for watching the video all the way to the end. I really appreciate all the support y'all been showing to the channel lately. We just passed 27K on the channel. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe, man. If you got any future video ideas, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. I read every single comment. So yeah, make sure to leave a comment if you're trying to see some new shit on the channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Check out my drum kits. I have them linked down the first link down in the description. So make sure to go check that out. And that's pretty much all I have for today's video, man. So I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Y'all stay safe, man.